Welcome to the Awesome. I'm Big Roy, and this is the Strike Force Master Launch Podcast. Here's my co-host, Chewburger84.
Thank you very much, mate. How are you this fine week?
Doing awesome. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all, mate. Not too bad. It's about 1,000 degrees Celsius over here this week.
All right.
We went out for a walk after sundown a couple of days ago, and it was like, oh, God, it feels hot. And, the wind chill factor, which I still think it's hilarious they call it that, was 53 degrees Celsius at 8:30 p.m. Let me calculate that using the interwebs for a sec. What would that be in Fahrenheit in your US-ness?
I think like 1,000 degrees.
That actually sounds about right. Isn't that the calculation with all the systems you guys use for measuring things?
I think so, yeah.
Let's see here. CC to Fahrenheit, that is... So 53 degrees Celsius is 127.4.
Shoo.
Yeah. Is there anywhere in the US that gets that hot? I mean, you guys have deserts, right?
I think like Arizona, maybe. It gets pretty hot there.
True. All right, boys and girls. So this is the Strike Force Masters Launch Podcast, as Roy just said. Today we're going to be going through the news of the week, but of course the main topic today, folks, has to be the ISO-8. It's coming to the game. It's been controversial for a long time. We've now seen how it's going to work, and we're going to talk about our thoughts today. Now, we're able to do the show every week because we have an awesome community. Make sure you join our Discord channel at Strikeforce Masters of Launch. If you'd like to support the show a little bit extra, make sure you find our Patreon page. We have an absolute legion of rock stars that support this show, and we'd love you to join that with packages starting off from $1. That's at patreon.com/SFMOL. Now, Roy, we had some new signups this week. And we also had some people that unfortunately glitched out recently, so I want to do some special shout-outs to some long-term people here. So to Belbaroy, to Honeycombs, Raider, Slim, and also to Admirero, who upgraded to an apprentice role this week. Thank you to those guys. And to our new starters, Flexipotamus, to Sniper Alley, we really appreciate your support as well. And with our shout-outs, we might be making some changes soon. But for now, folks, a shout-out to all of our journeymen and our masters. So to Andrew M, X23, Beer God, Mookie, The Dawkins, Justin Beard, Paul Puck, Irish Avengers 81, Scooter, Yule, Chilbo Swaggins, Cravino, Ticken Arthur, Dun and Dun, Release, Lemon Rust, Big Spartan 34, Bowslayer, Legriv, Cheetah Hobbs, Hamdesus, Domino, Alan G, Morphin Dream, Grimnos, Benicus, Captain Hammer, Michael L, Metalhead, Uthred, Abyssarium, and Slim. Thank you to all of you guys. To the Masters, the Gods, JW, Sandella, Maseo, Bart, Liquid Cool, Dragus, Assassin, Judas, Moon, Folpsy, Kane, Sparks, Jakey, Jay Shriver, Benicus, Tuggernuts, Commander, Iceman, Shalasta, Dracathor, Jedi Metroza, and Mikey H. Ace Trainer OP, Incorrect User, Mikey H again, I gotta do something about that, Dahooch, Brian C, Bronzy, Neil Wiley Bird, Lazy James, Sumo Raider, and Honeycombs. And then to our Uber tier, the Grandmasters, one of them Sith Masters, depending on what your name is. This is a custom tier that they created for themselves, folks. You're welcome to do the same, although it's up to you, where they donate a figure of whatever they want above our monthlies. So to Shalasta, Lord Keen, and Maseo, a special shout out to you boys. Now, while you're listening to us is fantastic. If you do have any friends, family, or Alliance members that play the game, make sure you tell them about this podcast. And we don't expect everyone to spend on Patreon, of course, although we'd love it if you did. There is an absolutely free way that people can support the show, Roy.
Yes, you can help support us absolutely free by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We've got one new one this week, rather, from Slaps Giver. Great podcast. This is a great podcast. Both Chewburger and Big Roy have helped me navigate this game as a mostly free-to-play player for about a year now. I am a weekly listener. Chew, don't have Black Bolt unlocked yet, but pulled a 7 red star for him from the orb.
Oh my God.
Can't wait for the next time he comes around. Any suggestions on how he could best be used? Just kidding. You guys are great, and I look forward to the podcast every week. So yes, that is the new rule for people that missed it. If you pull a 7 red star, you have to leave us a review and tell Chew.
But yeah, I mean, that guy pretty much just won Marvel Strike Force.
Yeah, I think so. But like you said, we are going to might be changing how we do the shoutouts. One thing you could do, have you seen the thing where they have the, the auction guys or whatever they call them, where they they talk really fast, like I have a 10. They put that to like hip hop beats, so it sounds like they're rapping. So
I've heard this. It's pretty great. It's pretty. I don't. Oh, man, voices and impressions, sure, that kind of thing. I don't know, man. Like people have heard me attempt to rap before. It's not good. And I can imagine. Now, I deliberately had it so someone's probably screaming at their computer right now. To Mr. 100, to Mr. Calvin, we haven't forgotten you, buddy. Shout out for you and your Patreon support. Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
All right, now there's a lot to talk about. The ISO-8 being so much in it, Roy, we should probably launch into everyone's favorite / shortest segment in the world. But before we do, a small disclaimer. We are going to be talking about Red Stars, folks. Red Stars is involving the opening of loot boxes, and loot boxes are effectively gambling. So if you are under the age of 18, if you are someone that has a predilection to gaming addiction or gambling addiction or a history of addictive behavior, I'd love it if you skip forward about 2 or 3 minutes. But for everyone else, Roy, Red Star Watch. Did you open anything this week for the Negasonic?
Yeah, I was trying to get some on her. I was on a big goose egg until I finally pulled a whopping 1 red star on her. So I think fate is telling me not to really worry about X-Force, but we'll see. I did finally pull higher on my old nemesis, Luke Cage. He is now 4 red stars finally after all this time.
Oh, nice.
And then I also got 5 on Winter Soldier and Killmonger. So slight little upgrade, but nothing really fun.
Yeah, I think the game's the same with me too, man. It's telling me just forget about X-Force, which is great because I was going to do that anyway. So it's actually counting down. I don't like the way this is trending. So it's 5 red stars on Deadpool, 4 red stars on Cable, 3 on Negasonic, 2 on Domino. So I'm either going to get a 1 or a 6 for X23 is what I feel is about to happen. My guess is a 1.
It's probably a 1 or a 0. Maybe they'll skip.
Well, she's the best character in the team, so let's face it, I'm pulling a 1.
Yep.
Right? So, yeah. But, look, I mean, this team's shaping up to be pretty great in war offense. I am jealous, of course, that people are going to have them, but I just can't justify the expense required. But I will say this. I've been surprised by the luck that I personally have had for Domino. How are you tracking with her?
It's been pretty atrocious. I pretty much gave up on her. I was even not refreshing her energy anymore, but I think I will because I forgot the back of my mind they will make it required for the next legendary, so I need to try to eke out as many shards as I can for her. I only got her in the middle twice. I think 1 purple pull, so not doing too well on her.
Where are you sitting at? Are you at 2, 3?
Let me find her on here because I even took her off my favorites because I gave up on her.
Oh, wow.
You're dead to me. She's at 33 of 80, so 3 stars.
Yeah, so I'm just behind you. I'm at 15 of 80, but I haven't dropped a core on this. Feels good.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty great. And then obviously Negasonic we're going to talk about with her milestones pretty shortly. So yeah, Red Stars is a bit of a wash for me this week. No surprises there. Any other major gaming milestones for you this week in MSF, mate?
Here's a milestone. I forgot to do DD3 the other day, which is the first time. So it was wow, I completely forgot to do it. I'm up to Node 8 on my second run. Just been taking it slow, not really putting much time into it because just got burnt out on it. But here's the craziest counter team that I had. Still don't know how it worked. It was the end of a war. We've been getting horrible punch-ups, 12 million punch-ups, so it didn't take long at all for them to punish us for our success. Mm-hmm. But so it was the last war. It was let me get one last attack in. Maybe I can get another MVP, which I did, so I've been racking those up. But it was Marauders with Kingpin was the team. I had nothing. I had scraps left. It's okay. I'll use Captain America, Black Widow, Nobu, Hand Assassin, and Spider-Man. Maybe I can kill one of them. It was a 50k punch down, but I wiped them all out. I still don't know how it happened. But with that ragtag group, I was able to take out Marauders.
Interesting. Did he have a pretty small Sinister, I imagine?
I think the Sinister was around 70 or 80k, so it wasn't huge.
That's still not too bad, though. I was expecting something much smaller, because he's kind of... If he is miniature, that team is just trash. We've talked about this before. If he's not above 4 red stars, you're probably going to eat the big one right there.
Yeah, there was clutch getting the stun on him with Spider-Man.
Yeah, nice. And did you give in with all that stuff you unlocked in your first run to any more T14s this week?
I did finally bite the bullet and took Colossus up just because I wanted to get through Global. So he doesn't make it a little easier to get the the Phoenix ult off, but sometimes it can suck though because I have him in there and then he taunts when she goes to 50, but then they all hit him and he dies. So I'm like, no, I want you to kill her so she can go dark. So sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, it's a funny day when you're begging them to actually kill one of your characters. Normally in DD3, it's just praying that they get the right RNG and live.
Right.
Absolutely. So, man, I joined you this week. I finally finished DD3 myself.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, obviously Carnage finally got me enough to get him in there, and that was a massive game changer, as we all knew he would be. And the only character that I raised when that was all done was Venom, just to purely finish off that symbiote trio. And I've been messing around with them as a secondary raid team. So I actually used them this week because our alliance attempted a no-core run of Ultima 7 difficulty 4.
All right.
Because apparently, we weren't thrilled with getting our butts kicked enough in 3. So we thought, why not? Let's do this.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's interesting, man. Like, the amount of damage that comes out is absolutely insane. I didn't have to make too many tweaks to my main teams, which was good. But then what we were doing, because obviously we're avoiding cores, and I said I'll do one full team revive, that's it. I'll save my heal energy after that. So once my main Black Order hybrid team died off more in order, I'm like, all right, who's next? So then I'm using like suicide squads of like Hela. Who else did I have in there? It was like Hela, Ultron, Phoenix, Colossus. I think it might have been Mr. Sinister or something like that. Like, so it was this, massive sort of nuke squad, get a lot of damage out and away you go. And I was very surprised that they actually blew up an entire node by themselves, right? Which was pretty great. And they could have actually kept going if it wasn't for Phoenix, right?
Yep.
But then I thought, okay, what am I going to do now? Like, I've got another node I got to hit. So I actually took in the symbiotes, Shuri, and I took in someone random for a cleanse. That's right. It was I took in Scientist Supreme, but only with the intention of just using the cleanse, not the offense, defense down.
Right.
And yeah, that team survived the post-vision node, which was pretty amazing. Yeah.
Very nice.
It one-shotted. I was really, really happy with that on difficulty 4. So, I mean, it is 3 T14 characters, but they're not monstrous reds. I mean, 6 on Venom's really good. The 5 on Symbiote's okay. But, yeah, there's a couple after that, which it falls off pretty hard with Carnage and the boys.
Yeah, if Symbiote Spider-Man ever comes back for his 3rd run and we can get him to 6, then even more.
Yeah. Now, on him, like, do you think he's going to be one of those characters you're going to take up to, like, 6 or 7 reds?
I already took him to 6.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, remember, because it was like we didn't know if he was going to be in the store, so it was like, I'll go for it. Then I figured out, like, I'm not even going to get him to 6 this time because you can only get 192 max. Like, crap. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I guess it is an accomplishment. I don't really care about raids, but I 2-shotted the Ronin node, which I don't think I've ever done on difficulty 2. So I did that. But I mean,
nice, man.
Yeah, I don't really care about raids that much. Just go in and get it done. But did you take anyone to 5 red stars with your winnings from DD3?
No. So part of me was like, I'm going to do Thor, right? Because my Asgardians has always been okay. And like the hell is terrifying to most people that come up against it in war. But it never really gets that many wins. And I know it's because Thor is only 2 red stars, right? It's obvious. Because he's the biggest silent threat after Hela. So I'm like, man, I got to do this. It's going to make my Asgardian team better. But as soon as I was about to click that button when it was in the story the other day, I was like, hang on. Why am I doing this? Because I'm only really doing it for war defense, maybe DD3, maybe some, weird specific combos for raids. Just, that's all that it's going to be. And more importantly, the way that's been suggested, we don't know because they've been very clever about their words with the marketing, is they're saying that very likely X-Force is going to counter the crap out of Asgardians anyway. So is it really worth me taking him up to 5 reds or 6 reds now when he's going to be, in many ways, significantly less relevant a month from now? And yeah, so I'm hoarding. I'm back into full hoard mode, mate. I'm back up to 11 mil gold. Now that DD3 is finished, I'm sitting on about 3,000 cores. I've got nothing in reds. Let's not talk about that. I'm completely dry. But I think I still got like 50 pocket gold orbs as well. There you go, 53 up my sleeve. So, yeah, I'm starting to save a bit of everything. Even my War Store currency, I'm only really buying in on, what's his name? Mr. Sinister at the moment. And I may even finish Graviton other than that. Oh. But, yeah, I think I'm just going to go into Horde mode again because there's not really anything I need right now. And if I need to pivot, like if we are right with our theory, and for those people from Roy's comment, it is just a theory and a joke between us at this stage that because we're not going hard on X-Force, that's why we think it's going to be them. There's no proof yet, but man, it's the writing's on the wall. A lot less people have been buying these teams. So last time that happened was Sinister 6, and next minute, Shuri needs them. So,
yep.
Yeah, we'll see how that pans out. So, yeah, I'm kind of happy with the way that my teams are performing. At the moment, what I'm really trying to figure out, Roy, is there's 2 different raid teams I'm running right now, and who the best fifth is in both of those teams is probably going to determine if I spend anything on anyone right now. Otherwise, man, to be honest, I'm probably going to wait until ISO-8, and then I'm sure there's going to be some characters that everything's going to change because those particular things are going to make them so much better that it's just crazy. And that's the ones I'll switch and go reds on. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. But I'm the same as you, man. Like, I wasn't really burnt out because, I mean, I kind of phoned it in for the first half, really, of that DD3 first run because I was taking the slow approach. But, yeah, I finished it. Obviously, then you got to wait a day. And of the 3 days since then, I think I've only done DD3 maybe twice.
Yeah. Well, I think it was the added thing of making sure I always had to record what I was doing and stuff. So it was just a second thing on top. It was just a pain in the butt. So,
yeah, I thought about doing videos for it. But the reality is everyone's kind of using the same teams now. There's just no point. Like, you know, I thought, oh man, I've cracked the code here. I've got more. I'm second on the leaderboards for these nodes. This is great. I'm going to do videos on this. And then by the time I loop back around and start my second run, it's like everyone in the top 30 is either using a team or a variation of mine anyway. And it's like, they've already got it covered. No one needs me for this one.
Yep.
Heck yes. Now, Roy, would you be excited if I told you you'd be getting free Taskmaster shards this week?
Yes, I would.
Well, sucks to be you, bro, because you're getting nothing.
You get nothing. Good day, sir.
You get nothing, and you get nothing. And the rest of you get stuff. So look, I'm always torn when they do this, mate. So for those of you that haven't heard this, there was people that were getting alerts on their phones of basically saying, log in now and unlock a free Taskmaster with a limited time calendar. And those of us that got that were like, oh, this is great, because Taskmaster's been one of the dark horses of the last year. Really undersold, massively OP for what it took to unlock him. Very impressive character. And free shards, you're like, heck yes, I'm going to log in right now.
Yep.
And then we find out, hang on, there's no calendar for me. What is the shenanigans? And it turns out that it's only for players who are either new or, and I don't know the time frame. I've been trying to find this out, Roy, of you've been away from the game for a period of time. It's like the old WoW thing of, hey man, why don't you come back and play for 7 days? It's free, you know?
Right.
And yeah, I guess trying to hook those folks back in on the game. So I guess it's a wonderful catch-up mechanic, but the people that play this game the longest get the least. Is basically the ongoing theme. Those that supported it the longest get the least. So there is that kind of a feeling for endgame players like us. But for people just hitting the endgame, like if you were on holidays or lockdown during Corona, I can't remember when Taskmaster was, man, and you missed him, this is wonderful. Like it's really good news for those folks.
Yeah, it's the good old cable company business strategy.
Yeah.
Like, treat your loyal longtime customers like trash and and give everything to new people.
Do you guys have that too, where you ring like your internet provider going, hey man, my internet's like really slow, and they're like, oh yeah, there's been a new package that you could have signed up for like the same or less money that's like 4 times faster. We're waiting for you to call us. You're like, what? And yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, because let's have a look. What would that calendar have got me? Do you know what that calendar would have taken me to 6 stars? I actually would have loved that. Because what did you finish up with him for Taskmaster?
I'm only on 3 on him. So.
How many reds did you pull? I thought you did okay.
I only pulled, I think, 3 reds on him, so
Okay.
yeah, he's an optional character.
Man, he's an animal at 5 reds. I can only imagine what he's going to be when I've got him at 7 yellows as well. I can't wait. He's one of the ones I wish I actually pulled seven reds on. I really do.
Yeah. You wish you pulled 7 runs on anyone.
That is accurate. AF. It is, yeah. I really do. Look, I'm probably disappointed if I got it on something like a
Boomer.
Ravager Boomer. Yeah, exactly. Could be worse, I guess. So, yeah, so that's good news for new players, mid-tier players, and people who have been AFK for a bit. But, yeah, nothing for the old guard. Now, let's have a talk about the Negasonic milestone. So, the Unity event is on in the game right now, mate. Today was the first day, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the Cyclops style, although they've changed the scoring a little bit here. That basically you go through, you get a certain amount of points for winning a blitz match. I think it's 9, and then you get 20 for every time you win a blitz battle with one of the Unity characters, which we went through that list last week. Now, when you do that, you open an orb, and whenever you open the Unity orbs, you will also get another milestone on the separate side, which unlocks pure domino shards, some purple ABCs for the first half of the milestones. And the back end, let's face it, Roy, that's what everyone really wants. Domino or no domino. Negasonic or no Negasonic. It is all of that sweet, sweet, sweet orange gear.
Yep.
How hard are you going on this one because of the milestones?
Well, we're going to have to see how many fragments we get. Or have they come out and said how many we're going to get for each win? Is it going to be just a flat number, or is it going to be like up to 2,000?
Yeah, so obviously we were all in there today trying to sort of guess those drop rates, right? At the moment, we have to assume it was the same as Cyclops. And Cyclops was weird because the first day seemed like it was raining shards. And then the next couple of days it was like, hey man, where'd those go? So they don't do it on orb days. So because today is a premium orb and red star orb days, we don't know because there was none of the bonus ones in today. So that doesn't help us.
Well, I know on one of them it was just like a flat, like 40 or 35 fragments every time.
Yeah, they haven't really gone out and said it. There's a lot of people making assumptions because we've got a bunch of people who've been putting out some amazing spreadsheets, which kind of tells you like how many wins you're going to have to get. And look, if you want to finish this without spending $1, you're going to have to do some blitzes, boy.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's going to be it's achievable for a lot of sort of, let's say upper mid to late game players. It's achievable to finish that, but getting Negasonic herself past 4 yellow stars looks like it's going to be pretty challenging.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
especially
she's 100
seeing
on
how the drop rates are crap in the Unity orbs themselves.
Yeah, I opened all mine in one hit today. I only got like one thing of 5 on her. The rest was just everything else. So yeah, I think we're not going to get much luck there. It's really going to come out of those milestones, which of course in there's not enough. Now, if they have sort of the blitzes later on where some of those things actually have like the Unity orbs dropping during some of those blitzes. Remember how they did that for Cyclops?
Yeah.
Then, maybe that increases the amount that we get. So a lot of assumptions are being done at the moment. But, someone was saying you needed like 11 rotations a day if you're factoring all of that out, which is basically the maximum with no sleep. So I don't love a lot of that.
Well, yeah, I just saw right here just now. It says if average drops for 100 frags, you need 980 blitz wins in the next 6 days. Ew. 164 wins per day average. Ugh.
Yeah. Now, is that assuming not using Unity characters? I'm assuming there has to be a hybrid number there.
Well, no, this is to get enough orbs because once the using the Unity characters, when you finish with that, they're saying for the orbs.
That's rough, man. That's pretty rough. I mean, if we had those sweet blitz blots, we'd be fine. But unfortunately, we're out here trying to be legit, mate.
Silly us.
I know. When are we going to learn that obviously in this game crime does pay, man? Absolutely.
Silly noobs.
Behind the thing. What we need to do, man, is we need to hit up Fox next for that nightly gate contract. That's what we need. I could do with like 200,000 calls right now. Yeah, man, that's the deal we all want.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I like the idea of Negasonic in this team. Like those multiple clears that she's got, they look pretty good, but I guess, yeah, I'm going to push a little bit harder because mainly I just want that stash of orange gear. If I get her up into a reasonably farmable position, great. But, I mean, look what happened with Cyclops. Like, if you miss out, it's just gone. And, like, there's no opportunity to farm them. So it's so all or nothing. And, yeah, I don't think I'm really pushing this for her at all, mate. For me, it's all about that orange gear.
Yeah, I mean, I might go for the up to the bio ones, but it's like I'm not. I'll probably be like Cyclops, like, yeah, I'll go pretty hard, and then it's just like, no, I'm burned out. I don't want to blitz anymore.
Yeah, I think I only got like 4 rotations in today. It wasn't pretty. So, but in saying that, that's the most rotations I've had in probably 4 or 5 months. So, I mean, that coincided with me spending a lot of time in doctor's offices just with my thumb in my butt. So,
Right.
That's fine. Yeah, and the next couple of days as well, I've got a few more tests coming up. So, yeah, man, it's actually quite a good thing to have when you literally have time to kill and nothing but your mobile phone.
Yep.
All right, now we just finished up the Iron Heart round 2, I believe. Oh, what was the blitz we just finished off? Iron Heart 2, right?
Yeah.
How's the scores this time? I haven't had a chance to check it out yet.
I did not look. I was all the way in milestones and chill.
So look, significantly lower than what it was, but it's still the same trend, mate, that the number 1 is just so far up and above everyone else, it's crazy. So we had number 1, I'm sure I'm going to get these names wrong. I assume his name is Cake, but it's spelled Caique, so congrats to him. He finished number 1 with 90 million, which is still massive.
What, only 90 million? What?
I know. Did he even try? Right.
Can't even hit 1 million.
But yeah, the consistency of that sort of 60 to 65 mil for the rest of the top 10, that's carried over. Although I will say from like 8 downwards, the scores were a lot lower. I guess that's pretty consistent with the second rotation for a lot of new characters though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 55 was enough to get into the top 10 this time. So not that I could ever achieve that without spending $1. It's impossible.
Like, it's going to be completely insane once X-23 is in Blitz. Oh my god, you're going to see, what was the top 123? Yeah. We're hitting 130 easily.
Well, I think there's questions there too. Like, could you imagine if there's an overlap between the Negasonic milestones and X-23? Oh, forget about it. Like, there's 150.
Yep.
Oh my god, I can only imagine. But fortunately, mate, I'm hoping the scores aren't too crazy because the next 2 that we have coming up is Mr. Fantastic and Carnage, which I guess a lot of people do still have to farm. So I'm assuming they might be relatively competitive. But
yeah.
You know, if anything's been shown to me in the last week is that I know nothing about Blitz scores anymore, mate, right? The reason I can guarantee you this is because number 1 in the Night Nurse Blitz, I'm going to say that again, Roy. The Night Nurse Blitz was 45 million.
She's the top city healer, man.
Well, it's all about that rework. People are just planning ahead, right?
That's right. Yes.
That's crazy, dude. Like 44 million, sorry, it was, from one of the... I can't actually say how they pronounce their guild, so I'm going to say fake. Even though I know that's not how you say it. Exactly.
It's French.
Yeah, so there are going to be some nice blitzes there, but they're going to be pretty competitive because of these milestones, I think. So,
yep.
Yeah, who knows, man? I'm hoping that combining all of this, that those blitzes and this Negasonic, that we're all going to walk away with a bit of free gear, maybe some shards, and see what happens.
Yep.
All right. Now, Roy, we have waited a while now. We knew when they reworked Red Stars. We couldn't wait to see what dollar figure Fox next believes the gold upgrade tokens are worth.
Yes.
This week we found that out.
Yes.
To take a character, now I only know what it is in Australian pesos. I didn't actually see what the American version is, but I'm sure you can tell me. I did the maths based on the offers they put in the other day, which was like, I think it was $75 or $80 or something Australian for 20 of these things. It was insane. Yep. Now, we know we need 150 gold upgrade tokens to take a character from 6 red stars to 7 red stars, right?
Yes.
If you translate that into real-world dollars, according to Fox Next, that upgrade is worth $599.99 Australian.
Oh, God.
So it costs you $600, folks, to make your character 15% better. Now, that's not even factoring in, Roy, that you had to get that character to 6 red stars in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to go back and look at all the offers and like add up. If you had to take a character from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, all the way up to 7, that it looks like it's about $1,500.
Oh my God.
It's probably a little bit shy of that, but it is a stupid number to say the least.
And I'm sure there will be people that pay it too.
Look, I really want to know. Like, I mean, I would love to hear from one of the Kraken Alliances that did you even look at this and just go, bruh, no, that is not going to happen. It is not going to happen.
I'm sure some did,
excessive.
but there's some people that they're just so rich they literally don't care what the price is. If they want it, they'll buy it.
Yeah, I mean, but bear in mind, mate, these are the same people that are now we're hearing stories that they're pulling 6 and 7 dupes. Do you know what I mean? Like, they may not even need to buy this with how often they're opening red orbs. Maybe they're in a position where it's actually more cost effective for them to do that. The problem is at the moment is that currency conversion really screwed them. And now we know why. Is because they wanted the only direct route of doing this to be so expensive that they're almost trying to say to people, just don't do it. But then if like 10 people do, they've just made a stupid amount of money from nothing. So, yeah, that's I think one of the worst value things they've ever done. It's probably except for the old Creole. Remember that one?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Your favorite.
Oh, man. For those that missed this Golden Oldie, the very first time that Nick Fury came around, there was a lot of us that were getting really close. And the RNG was really bad on a couple of nodes. And we're like, oh, we're not going to make it. So they had this orb set up, which looked really good. It was basically you buy the Kree orb, and everything on the messaging said Kree, 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 Kree. And that was back before they had a lot of announced like what would be in the orb. And then of course you open that bad boy and you're like, wait, why did I just pull a Hawkeye? Wait, what's a Punisher doing in there? What is happening? And then you find out that no, it just had a higher chance of Kree. And that was $100. That pack actually made the news. That was featured on Polygon for how bad that was and how potentially misleading that was. So, yeah, I think this is a doozy, man. To see what they believe the economy is worth for those things is just insane to me. It really is. But, yeah, I would love to talk to someone that's bought this and just, I think I can kind of understand who the most likely people to buy it are, though. It's those people, Roy, that they're at like 130 yellow gold credits. And they're like, oh, I'll just buy one. Then I'm there. That's going to save me a couple of months. You know what I mean?
Right. Or there's people sitting at 60 from the first Wakanda event. So like, oh, I just buy both of these. I can take 1 to 6.
Yeah, and in their mind, it's like, well, technically I've paid $100 for one upgrade. Therefore, I guess that's okay. So yeah, I can kind of see the logic. But I've mentioned this before, man. Like games like Marvel Future Fight, for $100, Roy, you can take a brand new character that you've just unlocked and take them to max yellows and max reds. That's it. You don't have to farm that part of it. All right? Yes, there's gear. Yes, there's costumes. And that stuff, there is a pathway to farm it free of charge. But it is very possible to max someone out. And $100 is still not a small amount of money. But $600 just for a 15% boost? Dude.
How much is it on the Galaxy of Heroes to take a new full character up? Wasn't it like 700 or something stupid?
So that's to take a character up to max yellow stars, because they don't have red stars over there as yet. They've got other systems which, are not great anyway. But, yeah, it all depends on RNG, to be honest. Like, if you got really, really lucky, you might be able to do it for $400 or $500. If you are really unlucky, like your worst case scenario is about $750 to $800. But you do kind of know that number going into it. But very rarely does it cost the full $800.
That's still insane for one character in a game.
I know, especially because, I'm playing Last of Us 2 at the moment. Like, I'm nearly finished. And at the moment, if you add up all my stream time, my own time, like everything that I've put into that game, fortunately, they opened up over here on the weekend. My wife's like, all right, I really want to go out the mall basically for 2 days. And I said, enjoy that. Great timing. New PlayStation game. See ya. Yeah, I put in, I think I'm already at about 19 hours of gameplay, right? And that cost me $40 American. Right? 20 hours of gameplay for $40. So yeah, man, it's the more you sort of see these models pop up, you're like, why do we do this? Dude, why do we do this? With that money, I could have bought 10 Last of Us games. I could have bought probably the new PlayStation 5. Like, rumor has it that's going to be a launching price point of like $550.
Yeah, you never want to buy a new console right when it comes out, though, because there's like problems with them, and then they don't have a lot of games, so it's not really worth it.
Well, this time around, the backwards capability is going to be pretty good, though.
Is it going to be out there day one? Because I think I remember a lot of them, like, they said they're going to have it, but they didn't have it for a long time for a lot of the games.
Yeah, and that cost them a lot. So this time around, Sony's made a really big deal because they were very not good with this when they first came across. It was only very limited titles. And a lot of companies have already announced like free up-specking as well. So they're already saying, hey, we are going to release a PlayStation 5 version of this, but we still want you to buy it now. So if you do buy it now, you'll get that same copy over there, and then you can just buy your DLC if you want to for the PS5 version instead.
That's cool.
Very cool, yeah. I don't know about Xbox yet. I haven't really seen much more recently on what they're up to, but fingers crossed, man. The back half of this year is looking pretty damn good for console and PC gaming, so I'm excited.
Absolutely. Oh, another thing with the Uni Orbs, I forgot to say, just like everything else in there is crap besides Negasonic.
Right.
Like, it's all old characters. Like,
it's flaming garbage, and that's saying something with the amount of flaming garbage we've seen on Reddit and Discord today. Good God! Like, talk about like what a day for it though. It's like it seems like someone says, "All right, guys, we're going to have a Unity event. We're going to celebrate everyone's culture, race, whatever." And I'm just going, "Yeah, we're not going to do that," and just lost their freaking minds. So, bruh. Anyway, shall we talk about potentially awesome things, though?
Sure.
All right, main topic for the week. Now, I wouldn't have thought 7 days ago, Roy, that I would be using the words potentially awesome and ISO-8 in the same sentence.
Yes.
But it does seem, and I'm not in the testing group, I'm purely going from video guides. If you haven't really seen an in-depth guide on this yet for ISO-8 and you're confused, go on over and check out Alternate Reality. Piker put out a great video. He is testing this, and he explains it better than anyone else that I've seen. All right, so check it out. It's very simple. It's a very simple but in-depth explanation. So how much have you looked into this so far, mate?
I've just looked over the things I've seen, what each class gets, stuff like that. So it looks pretty cool. Mm-hmm. We'll need like all the details on it. But like there's things like it says like, for example, gain 5% direct healing. What does that mean? Does it get healed for 5% more when he gets healed, or is that what that means?
Yeah, and a lot of those. Yeah, and a lot of those percentage-based things as well, man. So there was a bit of debate. Apparently there was some controversy that, like, you know, what was allowed to be said and what was actually said was very different. So if you have a look at different content creators' things right now, there's some people that don't mention the percentages at all, and then there's different percentages mentioned by the others. So I actually don't know what's real. So for now, we just know it's a percentage boost. Yeah.
I love that on the blog post they did about this, they have a screenshot and they have a typo on character. It's just like huge, like CHARACRTER. It's like, come on, dude. You can't even proofread stuff you're going to post.
I'm not going to lie, man. That stuff has been getting worse for them. Like typos and some bad ones as well. Like there was claims made about X23's kit on last week's blog post that are just factually incorrect. Like they suggest that she gives a bonus to that team that she does not, Roy. She does not give that bonus. But anyway, I heard they might be addressing that shortly. So, yeah, very interesting. So let's talk about this. Let's go through the Q&A they put in there first, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what everything is. So a quick overview is that basically you're going to have something unlocked on your character, which is called ISO-8, which if you've played a lot of other mobile character gotcha collector games, it's going to be the equivalent of mods. The good news is they're not going to have speed mods for now. I really wish they'd stop saying the for now, right?
Yeah, that just means it's coming.
I know, or currently no plans, because we all know that speed ruins everything. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have to collect basically 5 different types of crystals. So I think it's going to be like health and attack and all those sort of things. And once you've collected all 5 of those, you'll basically unlock a class for that particular character. Once you've got the right combination, like controller, blah, 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 blah. Now, for the Q&A, it says, will the stat bonuses that ISO-8 provides be randomly generated? And the answer is no. Similar to Gear, the stats on these are predetermined. You also get to choose the class assigned to a character and how much you level it up. I cannot tell you, Roy, from having been on the first test of this, how great that is.
So you basically get drops of one of the 5 different things, but then you can use them on any character you choose.
Yeah, there is some limitation. So I do believe there is some class assignments to some of them. So like orientation, like controller or brawler or things like that.
Oh, okay.
So that part's a little bit unclear about whether that's staying or not. But it does seem that, yeah, like you can't just take any crystal and put it on any character in the game. It seems like you'll have to sort of, wait to see which ones you do unlock. A little bit, I suppose, like waiting for those catalysts for the orange gear, right? It's like, well, okay, I have enough bio, therefore now I can jump in on bio, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's actually good news, because the OG versions, man, that's, it was so random, it made Red Stars look good.
Wow.
Oh, it was terrible. The stacking potential that the old... I feel like I can talk a little bit more about it now because obviously the new versions come out. The old version though, man, if you stack that with Red Stars, you could have people that had like differences between their character and your character of like 60 to 70%. It was gross.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was really bad, man. Really bad. All right, the big question, will there be bonus speed stats available? Here's that answer we talked about. There are currently no plans to include speed stats.
But when we want to make a lot of money, we will add speed in there and make it very expensive.
Well, that's when they do like mods 2.0. That's what Star Wars did, and that was the day that I quit. Because when they bring in like a new set of mods or like a new tier of ISO-8, what that basically means is that all of your farm up until now means nothing. Because like another gear tier, like normally the bonuses, like they're good, but your character, as it is now, can still compete, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, in Galaxy of Heroes, like when they brought out new mods and now you can go up like another 5 to 10 speed, it was like, oh god, this is over. Like I've got nothing. One guy's going to get a dice roll and my 2 years means nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like speed. But the fact that it is fixed numbers, that already, even if they did go down the speed route, mate, it kind of makes it better than what it was. But it's still bad because everyone would just pick speed.
Now just imagine, if you would, if Red Stars also affected speed.
Yeah, I mean, anything that randomizes speed is bad in any of these games. Like we saw it break Galaxy of Heroes in so many ways for the top end. I mean, Dragon Champions went down a bad path when I was still playing that for exactly the same idea. So yeah, I just don't like mods. This is a little bit more fun because it's almost like an RPG element. That you can have 5 different guys with 5 different Minervas and they can all be different.
So pretty much like a skill tree.
Almost, yeah. And we'll talk about that in a sec. So will upgrades in ISO-8 require gold? This is great news. No. Currently the plan, here's the bad news, is that it's going to use a new resource called ions to upgrade classes and fuse crystals. Now, whether this system succeeds or not, I really think on how whalable is this. I'm hoping they don't. I really hope there's at least one part of this game that's a level playing field, not for money. It won't be. I'm living in an idealistic, imaginary world. Yes. I know, but I would love it if they did, man.
You can just look at the picture here because of the ions right next to the power cores, and there's the nice green plus that lets you buy more of them.
I know. I can dream. But yes, I mean that's good news for most of us. Anyway, though, but we'll see. All right, can characters change their class? Yes, you can change classes freely, but upgrading them will cost resources. Now, I have further questions on this, right? So let's say you had a tier 4 striker. If I change to a healer, I'd go back to level 1, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
Right? But then what if I decided don't like it, want to go back to a striker? Does my tier 4 progress remain the same?
It better.
That's a big question that no one can answer for me right now. And I think if it does remain there, I like it. But if it doesn't, that basically means whatever you lock into, unofficially, let's face it, you're locked into it forever.
Yeah, people will like get the torches and pitchforks if you lose what you put in there. Because I saw like a little bit of the math people did, like the exponential amount of things you need, because you can combine like the tier 1 things, enough of them, and then it goes up, but it goes up exponentially, so you need a ridiculous amount. So if you lose that, then people lose their minds. So I'd assume and hope that you wouldn't lose it, but it'd be very awesome, because then you could like, okay, I need to use this class in like raids, but then I need to use this class in arena, so I can switch back and forth depending on what I'm doing.
See, I would have loved the ability to switch, because you can do that in Galaxy of Heroes. Like, you can take those mods around. And why that was great, Roy, is you could basically say, all right, I'm going to do my big raid run right now. So very quickly, I'm just going to take my gear off my arena team, hope no one hits me, smash out that raid, and then pivot it back. And that meant you could do a lot of end game stuff with just 5 characters worth of mods. Because these things take ages to unlock and even longer to upgrade, and that part of the system actually looks worse in ISO-8. The length of time it's going to take to get to the highest one, from the couple leaks I've seen on 2 different discords, it's bad. It's a long time, right? So the fact that, and this is one of the next questions, can ISO-8 pieces be moved around to different characters, Roy? Now, I love the way they worded this. It's PR speak at its best. The current plan is that ISO-8 are locked to characters, similar to gear, so that there's no need to spend time swapping them between characters. We're saving you time, Roy. That's right. Amazing.
Think of all the time you'll save, not being able to...
Never mind the fact you're going to need literally minimum double the mods to be able to run 2 teams now. Like, I'd gladly take 5 minutes of knobbing around going, I take the piece of gear from A, I put the piece of gear on B. I would gladly do that. I would beg to do that. I'd probably pay some of that currency to do that. I don't love that. If they change anything, I wish it was that.
They're looking out for you, man. They're trying to save you time. You need to be grateful.
Look, I'm Mr. Time when it comes to this game. It's like Blitz, make it less. DD3, make it less. Raids, make it less. Please, please, please. Less time in game would be great. But when it comes to this, I know what this is, Roy. It's so that you have to keep on doing this. It's crazy, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not great. Because what if you make that mistake? What if you heavily invest? You've theory crafted. You've gone, those blokes on Masters of Launch don't know what they're talking about. I'm going deep on Yondu, right? And then you go, oh, I've made a terrible mistake. You can't just grab all that investment and put it on somewhere else. It's stuck there forever. So I really wish there was at least, even if it was like a small payment, right? And oh God, I can't believe I'm actually encouraging this. At a worst case scenario, like let them pay like $5 real money to move it or something. Unlock it so you can pivot it to someone else. I don't know.
Like, that's a great idea, but make it 50.
It's probably gonna be like 100, That's how it goes, man. So yeah, that part, I think that's a very marketing spinning. That's probably the first real negative I've seen on here. The rest have been significantly great changes to what it was previously.
The real kick in the gut will be when you finally hit like the 5th tier on this character, but then you pull 6 or 7 red stars on another characters, and then you have nothing in them. So so you got to start all over again.
That's true, man. That's very true. This one is, again, this is a great section of PR speak. I'm going to emphasize the parts here that should basically be in italics, right? Will this system add significant time to daily play? Upon getting familiar with the feature, already, and completing the ISO-8 campaign nodes, this system should not require a significant daily time investment. It's intended to complement your experience with the game, not overshadow other components. So there's a lot of get out of jail words in that paragraph.
Well, you know what else they said probably won't take a lot of time or
Alliance
extra
War.
time?
Yeah.
Alliance War.
It's like maybe 15 minutes a day, guys. Like, get off it. It's like, all right, whatever. Yeah, that's a good point. So, look, I hope it doesn't take too much longer. It was just basically my energy peaks. I use that energy. I finish campaign nodes. I farm the pieces I want. I move on. Great. Yeah. I have a feeling that when they say upon getting familiar, you're probably going to spend a lot of time going, what's the best node to beat here? And then there's the question of how easy is this to actually beat? Like, is this going to be the hardest campaign in the game? I don't know. I don't have those details from the playtest. Question. Oh, heck, this is great. We were asking this question last week. Is this why the health bars were updated? Answer. This is one of the reasons. Yes. Hey, I knew it.
There you go.
I knew it. The previous pip indicators had essentially reached their maximum limit, and not changing them would make ISO-8 bonuses very difficult to visualize. Okay.
You know what this is one character this is going to make an absolute monster even more so? Mm-hmm. That is Sinister. Because once he's high stars, he's like super survivable, and then you just add some more on top of it.
I want you to keep him in the back of your mind when we talk about classes, because he's one of the ones I find the most fascinating about what happens, right? So we'll come to that in a sec. The last question here as well, are these ISO-8 upgrades going to be added in the AI in PvE environments? This is the greatest question someone forced them to answer, because it was edited in later.
Yep.
This is great. There are no current plans for characters in existing PvE environments to retroactively have ISO-8 added to them. Yes!
So an all new content.
Congratulations. Look, that's fine. If they put it in future content, that's fine. But I think we all know ISO-8 is probably tuned already for the way that Ultima 7 currently is with the slider for the upper tiers.
Yeah.
100%.
I bet they're already working on DD4.
So look, those Q&As and the videos that we've seen, I don't know about you. I'd love to hear your thoughts, mate. But I am so much happier with the system the way it is now. I don't know if it's because like it literally is the better of the two devils that I know, but it's nowhere near as bad as it could have been by Foxnext standards and what they were going to do. What about you? Where are you sort of feeling it at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. We need all the details. I didn't see like the old version, so I don't know.
Yeah,
how much worse it was going to be. I trust your word on it, though. I'm sure it was going to be horrible. So
man, I wish I could release because I still have it, like the transcript of that chat with like the whales and well, I say content creators, but we were all online, and Foxnext went, all right, content creators, you get to nominate one person to be your mouthpiece for this chat, and the rest of you will be silenced. And we're like, okay. And then we're like trying to type, and none of us are getting it. We're like, wait, what is this? And yeah, the person that they nominated, I would not nominate that person in the top 50 people I would have had speak for me. I was like, this is going to be terrible. And of course, it was. So anyway, that's personal issues. So let's talk about classes, because this is the exciting thing. This is the really exciting thing. So there is 5 all up. We have Striker, Fortifier, Healer, Skirmisher, and Raider. One of these already, I think, is not going to be picked by too many people, mate. Let's go one by one. First of all is Striker. So on a primary hit, which I'm assuming means basic, he's going to apply Marked to the target. And whenever you hit that target, he's going to make bonus damage, a specific increase in percent damage against that marked target. And it also gives you a percentage health gain for that toon. So basically, it's like a free damage boost after your first hit with a basic.
Yep.
Now, I have heard, if you watch some of the testing videos play back, now this is kind of a bummer. It doesn't look like it works on assists.
Yeah, I can. That'd probably be too powerful if it worked on assist with how many assists you can get.
Could you imagine this on Taskmaster if it worked that way? Bro, yeah. He would be so good. Before I saw that gameplay footage, I actually wrote down on a piece of paper, Striker potentials, Taskmaster, number 1. But no, sadly not.
Now, it would be interesting because it says the Striker can gain an extra attack. So will that be like an assist where it gets the bonus stuff, like it removes buffs if they do that or stuff like that?
Yeah, so it looks like you sort of do your first amount of damage, and then you'll do like a percentage damage of your normal hit on top of that in a bonus attack, yeah. So it's not...
Will it...
Sorry?
Will it do the extra stuff, like do offense down or remove buffs? Like the thing, is it counted like that?
Yeah, my understanding is no. The big question I have on that, to be honest, mate, is, well, there's a few sub-questions to that, is if you had offense up, is it applied to that damage, or is this a base calculation? And more importantly, can it crit?
Yeah.
Like, can that bonus attack crit? Because if it can, there are certain characters that's going to be ridiculous.
Yes.
Yep. I mean, anyone who triple hits this on a basic, this is really, really good. So, Mystiques are, randomly might be an okay option here. Not that I go out of my way to use it on her, but JJ as well could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, this is the one I think is going to be the least popular, mate. Fortifier. In concept, it's great, but all we know so far is that they give themselves a barrier on spawn, which is calculated on a basis of their own health. Now, I can see some characters that would be great to survive an opening barrage, but the fact it does nothing else for the rest of the match, it makes it the weakest of these 5, because it's a one-time bonus.
I could have swore I saw like the tier for each one, and I think they get like more barrier each turn.
Yeah, if that's the case, like if the higher tiers of the crystal, then I take it back. I think that your tank classes, this is going to be great. I also think you can do some really irritating stuff with this. Like, for example, if we had thousands of these things, for giggles, on all 5 of the Fantastic Four, I'd put this on.
Oh, God.
Could you imagine? Because instantly, they're just getting slapped by a big invisible woman.
Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe Johnny lives to do something for once.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that might be nice to put on the squishies.
Yeah, but the other bonuses that you get on some of these squishies, it's like what you lose for what their job actually is pretty crazy. And then I think there are some classes that they're going to be off-brand. Like, you're going to do it on certain characters just because of who they are. Like, let me give you a great example here is the healer class, right? What this is going to do is you're going to gain a percentage amount of direct heals on turn, and then a percentage extra heals, and then on turn apply a minor regen to the lowest health ally on every turn. So yeah, healing that most vulnerable ally every turn and clearing marked away from them is pretty great. But the first thing I would look at with that is going, all right, who's the fastest character in the game?
That would be Yo-Yo.
Yeah, so I'd start looking at that. But for me, I think this is like more with how quick he is. I think this is wonderful for him, potentially.
Yep.
Like, for 2 reasons. There's that, and then obviously putting the regen out. If you're getting that out on Cole all the time, you're not going to be able to strip anything off that dude.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really, really good things you can do with that. Where just putting it on the fastest characters means you're going to get the most throughput. So I do like that.
Yep.
Now, Skirmisher is probably my favorite. When they attack, they will clear and possibly even flip positive effects into negative effects on marked targets.
That is nice.
Yeah. Now, I have questions there, though. Is that, let's say you have Proxima Midnight. Instead of clearing 2, does she now clear 3? Like, is it stacking with existing characters where this does great things? Is there, for example, on multi-hit characters, does it apply to every hit? Because, again, characters like Mystique could then become tank killers. Because she's copying their buffs anyway, but if she could remove them at the same time, that's wonderful.
Right. It'll be interesting. Will marked? Can you remove that, and can it be flipped also? Since it is like purple, it's a different color than any other.
Oh, with marked,
debuffs.
like, can you actually flip that?
Yeah.
It says you can clear it yourself. It doesn't look like you can clear it off an enemy person, because obviously you wouldn't want to. But the healer class does do that.
Okay.
Yeah, the healer class will clear marked off the most vulnerable character on your team. So that seems very PvP. I mean, God, the potentials of so many teams for war is nuts as well.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, war is going to be a lot more interesting because you won't know what they have on there. So, I think I saw people said they hope that they show what class the people have. Otherwise, it's just a total crapshoot.
See, I'm not going to lie. I kind of wish it was the other way. I actually wish it was blind. Because I think the amount of like intrigue that would add, like you'd have to think before I hit this, he's got ISO-8 equipped, but I can't see it. It's a tier 3. What's my worst case scenario here? Like, I would love to have that happen, because otherwise it's so easy just to pivot around it on a counter.
Yeah.
I think it makes defense way more interesting.
Yeah, it'll be a lot more defensive, which I love. So
Yeah, me too. I don't think it's going to be that way. I think it's going to have a big like neon sign saying, "This one's a striker." Yeah.
Striker.
Get your striker here.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
Think of Arena too. You can finally have, not everyone will have the exact same. Well, they probably will have the exact same team, whatever the most strongest is. But you could throw people off by having something on there that they wouldn't expect. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Arena, though, is that the main difference there, as you know, is that you tend to be always saving the same 5 to 10 guys every day anyway.
Yeah, but they could have the different classes. So 2 people could have the same 5, but they have radically different classes and strength of classes, too. So it could be a completely different fight.
Oh, for sure. But, I mean, you'll end up knowing then, like, you know, after a couple of days, you're like, all right, well, Jeff's got these 2, and then Steve's got those ones. You know, it's easy to learn. Whereas Wars, it's like, how often do we fight the same alliances anymore? Not that often.
Well, it's all about the mind games at the top of Arena. So, I mean, you might switch around your things, like, every few days, and then it'll just catch people off guard.
Let's go deep on that Yondu, son.
Yeah, and Boomer.
All right, and Boomer as well. So then we have our Raider. So on crit, apply +1 marked, which increases percentage crit chance. For certain characters, this is going to be great. Like Killmonger, for example. Great character to put this one on.
But does anyone have high enough crit where it'll be consistent enough?
There's quite a few. I mean, Corvus Glaive is a good example of a really crit beasty character, especially when he's in the Black Order team. So things like him, but he's so slow that it's like, is it worth it? Yeah. But then remember, man, and this is for you especially with your giant shield team, is shields. They have a massive inherent crit bonus because of assault.
That is true. I forgot about that.
Well, just in case you're wondering if that was it, here's one big question I have on this. And this combines the Fury that you just talked about, and now also Mr. Sinister. What happens with summons?
Oh, God.
Like,
I think I saw someone put please, Foxnex, make ISO-8 apply to summons right away.
Please.
Don't make us wait forever.
And because if it copies what's on the main person, like, could you imagine how much better Fury's minions become with ISO-8? Like, if you put, let's say, Skirmisher, there is going to be no buffs on that enemy team because you're already stripping them. And this guarantees it, just about. Right? If they're all able to do that.
They have no strip other than Assault's special. So
well, they do have. Oh, actually, you're right. For War,
yeah,
that's a good point. For War, you're not using Operative, but that was where the old one used to be. But in the summons, you still have your Operatives. Yeah.
It could be so much more.
Well, even the heals, mate. Like, even like if you have 3 minions take a turn and they're all throwing out some sort of a heal onto the lowest tier character. Like, Fury speeding up that team massively anyway. So there's so many cool things you could do. This is, I think, the best opportunity they've had, because the rework for Stark Tech and Red Stars onto minions didn't work. It just didn't work. But you got to be careful, because we have things like Red Skull.
Yeah.
Like, that could get dirty, right? Do you know who I'd probably put on it? That'd probably be the one guy, if it applied to his minions, that I'd use Fortifier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, let's get even more deep here. Ultron.
Oh, God.
Could you imagine the possibilities of Ultron? I want them to do this for summoning characters so badly, because it makes almost all of them relevant. Almost. Maybe not Yondu.
Maybe not Yondu.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some exciting theory crafting to be had off the back of this, but we just need more time and more answers. I'm kind of jealous now, for the first time in a long time, that I'm not in Envoy for this. This is something that I would have loved to have been in that playground. And because I respect the other Envoys, I'm not asking them, hey man, can you tell me a little bit about this? Because I don't want to put them in that position where they might breach NDA. I mean, don't get me wrong. Check some of those lads' Discords, people. You're going to find all the answers you want. But yeah, I'm more keen on this than I have been since I heard it announced. Like, I was worried that this was going to be so mods Galaxy of Heroes that I was going to quit. I thought this was the time. Now that I've seen this, I love the classes idea. I think it's different to any other way they've done mods. I think when we realize how long it's going to take to get one character to a tier 5 class to unlock their big peak bonus, which we still don't know how well these scale, mate, I think that might make me cranky, but we'll see.
Yep. Do we know when this is supposed to hit?
Dude, someone was saying that this is going to be hitting by the end of July. Now, I don't know if that's true. There are other people that are saying it might be as late as sort of September. I don't know. I keep hearing different dates, man.
Yeah, I thought I saw somewhere it'd be like September.
Yeah, I swear, like we said, I think last episode someone said it was like July with one of the leaks that we'd gotten. And then someone said, no, someone at Fox went September or something like that. So let's say somewhere between July and September. Yeah, who knows, man? Like, because I mean, you just don't know what comes out during the testing. I really hope they've given themselves enough wiggle room that if that testing group of players gives them positive, constructive, consistent feedback where they all say, hey, these features, love them, great. These features, fix them. That they do have time to do it. I have a feeling what everyone's seeing now, that's it. I think this has been reworked once. That's there. Well, we did that for you. You know, you're welcome.
Right.
You're welcome.
We're not doing it anymore.
I think, no more. So I like it, man. Final thoughts on ISO-8 with our initial, what we've seen so far tease.
I'm very interested to see how it comes out. Looks like there's a lot of potential for a lot of theory crafting and fun things you can do, mind games and arena, alliance war, and everything else, and then different things you can do in raids. So it's very cool how it's going to give a lot more options for not just the characters you already use, but for characters you might not use that they might become usable or even very good if you can get the right ISO-8 on them.
All right, you ready for some questions from Discord? All right, folks, if you want to have your questions answered on air, make sure you head on over to the Strike Force Masters Launch Discord page. We do answer as many questions as we can, but when time is short, we do prioritize our patrons' questions first. We got to give the love back to those who love us. So let's start off with Chief Schuberg84. Have you seen Valley Flying's Aussie alter ego Drew? How do you rate his Aussie accent? And is this the start of a content creator diss war? So Americans think that they can do an American accent, right? It's kind of like the same reason that I think I can do a Donald Trump accent, but I can't. And I know this, right? Because every time I do it, I'm doing like Seth Meyers doing Trump. Do you know what I mean? And it gets diluted on the way through. It's kind of the same. You guys imitate what you think is Paul Hogan, which was Crocodile Dundee, and you're so far off the base. And then you're quoting TV shows that already have a poor copy of that accent, which is even further away from the point. I will say that Valley is one of the better ones that I've heard, but that's kind of like, being like the best basketballer in the New York Mets. Do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of a backhanded compliment. But I think he did all right. I watched that one video that was sent to me by Chief during the week. Drew's apparently where he goes for his leaks. He just got this Australian character. So yeah, he was all pretty good. But then he tried saying Macca's, which is what we call McDonald's. And he was like, Markers. I was like, nah, mate, you lost me now. And then it all fell apart. There was that one word that just unhitched his giddy up, and then it was all over.
Unhitched his giddy up.
I don't know where I heard that saying recently, but I can't stop saying it. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong too. I'm pretty sure it's like that put a hitch in his giddy up or something. Anyway. Okay. All right, Jackie246 Riddle. How can you drop a raw egg onto a concrete floor without cracking it? Would a raw egg not have the shell on it anymore, though?
I guess. I have to be in the right frame of mind to mess with riddles. Otherwise, I don't want to think like that.
Because there's so many cheesy answers here. Just well, I drop it from 0.0000001 millimeters off the ground. Yeah. Then skadoosh. That's all it is. Then there's physics answers where it's just well, I would use a fulcrum, I would use a ramp, and I would put the egg at the top of the ramp, and instead of dropping it, it would roll that distance. There's all sorts of answers like that. So I don't know. I remember there was like an old thing like this that used to get riddles all the time. It's like, how can you make an egg fall 29 floors without it breaking? And I remember saying, like as a joke, drop it from 30 floors up. And then technically it did fall 29 floors without breaking. I went, right answer, you can go home now. I'm like, really? I'm out. Because those sort of riddles are, yeah.
There you go.
Honeycombs, what's the most imaginative insult you can come up with? Honeycombs, if you asked me that on any other day than today, I would go deep. Unfortunately, today, with everything that's happened in the MSF community, I'm going to give you a IOU. I'm going to do this another time.
Yes, people get really salty when I say anything approaching an insult, so I'll probably pass on this one too for now.
Yeah, no, I will loop back around it because I do love wordplay and the way, like, coming up with an insult that almost sounds like really clever when you think about it. It's like a really sick burn. But just today, there's been so much hate and insults on the Discords, man. I'm not going to contribute to it. So, Honeycombs, I owe you, man. We can have fun with this in the Patreon chat. We can go deep on each other. Just respectful, not racist, etc. All right, Bloodwalker. So I just bought a new laptop to play games on. That means porn. So I'm nothing too flash. Seeing I'm not really spending cash on mobile games these days, what would you recommend? Apart from shamelessly plugging Roy's game, that is.
Yes.
How is your game
You
coming
could
along?
play my game. I'm still working on it. I'm going to pare it down to try to get it out. So I'm probably shooting for about 10 to 20 hours for a playthrough. And then there'll be multiple endings so you can play through things multiple times. And I just want to get it out. I want to be working on it forever. And then I can move on to other games also. That I can make.
Now, I can say that from talking to some of Roy's ex-girlfriends. He is known for multiple endings. So that's good news for everyone.
Yeah. If you only knew.
So for Bloodwalker, oh man, games on PC. I mean, how long you got, man? In the last year, Control was probably one of my favorite surprise games. It wasn't really that hyped. It was kind of like a side developer just sort of shot this thing out, and it was a great game, like sort of combo of shooting and magic powers, like psychic abilities. And a real X-Files kind of theme. Gears Tactics was wonderful. Actually, I tell you what you should do, man. You want to save yourself some cash? Get the, and I can't believe I'm about to recommend this company, but get the EA Origin Annual Pass. That means you're going to get all the new games that come out from them, and you can play deep in the vault as well. But sign up for the 1-month trial for the Microsoft Xbox on PC. The first month is free, and honestly, the games you can play on there's all the Halo games. You don't have to pay a cent. You can play the old Wasteland games, which if you like Fallout 2, they're insanely good. Outer Wilds, Outer Worlds, Minecraft, the new Minecraft, which is kind of like Diablo, Sea of Thieves. There's like so many amazing games on there. And for $15 a month, I reckon I've saved hundreds of dollars on video games this year, Roy, from that one pass. It is just the gift that keeps on giving to me.
Yeah, I actually have a free month I need to use on that for the Game Pass for PC. So I need to check that out.
Do it.
But when I've had it on,
is crazy.
when I've had the Game Pass on Xbox for multiple times now, it's like I never end up playing hardly anything on it because it's like, which one do I start on? Like, no, I'll just not do any of them.
Yeah, I mean, comparatively, like the PlayStation Store, like the free games that they usually give out, like I'll sort of add it to my library, and I reckon there's maybe 2 of them I've ever played, like in the 6 or 7 years since that console came out.
Yeah.
All right, Snorlax Hunter 64. Would you accept $100 million if it meant that over the next 60 years you'd slowly morph into an octopus? Your body changes, but your brain stays the same.
Yeah.
Ooh. What's the life expectancy of an octopus? Do they live longer than us?
Probably. I don't know.
I need this for my answer. You talk about yours, and I'm going to Google this at the same time.
Well, no, I guess it'd depend on how slowly you'd morph into it. Do you have? I mean, it's over 60 years, so you can get a lot of enjoyment out of it before you become a full octopus.
Yeah, I don't love their lifespan. So apparently, it's like 6 months to 5 years is like the species difference between a lot of them. So if they lived a lot longer than us, I'd just say, yeah, maybe.
Well, no, because you have
like
60 more years, and then you'd like get the 5. So I mean.
Well, if it guaranteed you live to 90, I mean, that in itself, it's like a gamble, right? But then it's like, okay, well, you know, on what day does my genitals turn into octopus? Do you know what I mean? Like, what day does my hands turn into tentacles? Because octopuses are insanely clever creatures already, man. Like, there was a lot of cases where, like, I can't remember where it was. I think it was somewhere in Europe. They kept on having, like, dead fish that looked like they'd been eaten. Like, when people came into the aquarium each day, they're like, what the hell, man? This is a secure tank. They could not work out what was eating these animals.
Yeah.
And what it turns out was happening is that in the tank next door, an octopus had figured out how to undo the nuts on the top of the tank, and it would unscrew it, crawl into the next tank, eat a fish, crawl back, and put the screw and nut back on.
Wow.
This is legit. There's like CCTV footage of it in the tank because they put cameras in to figure out what was going on. And yeah, that was what was happening. Like, genius. And there are some octopus species that can take down sharks, man. So, I mean, octopuses in themselves are pretty cool. Now, when you're in full octopus like mode with a human brain, if you're just out in the open ocean, I can imagine in most days that's a terrifying life.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, is there other like, did other ladies get converted at the same time as you? Because like, if you like kind of have to bone just like a normal octopus, that's pretty messed up, man. That's like, it's still.
Yes, but
yeah.
Think of all the extra appendages you end up getting. You know, the ladies
Why
will
do I
like you
want a
even more.
beak, man? Have you seen a squid octopus beak? Those things are terrifying.
And it's easier to cosplay as Cthulhu.
I mean, look, there's some hilarious lols though. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you see some like bloke on the bottom of the ocean, like scuba diving, and he's like waving at an octopus, like, "Hey, come over here, fella, come play. Oh, look, aren't you a cute little octopus?" And you just go, "Have some ink, cuz," right in the mouth. Oosh. Yeah, good luck getting that out of everything for like a year, idiot. So yeah, there's some pretty crazy things to do. So would I do it? Would I accept $100 million? Oh, I forgot about the $100 million. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Again, yeah, we need to talk about like what time frame things go though. Like, there's a lifespan I'd like to get out of my human body first.
Yes.
Calvin, is there generally an algorithm that slows down the rate of unique items you need to a lifeless crawl, or is it just in my angry head? Yeah, man, it definitely feels that way. Like, every time I've pivoted from one character to the next, magically that one thing just disappears.
Yep.
It's tinfoil hatty, but man, anecdotally, it feels bad. But then, you know, F your feelings, it's about science, right? Yep. So, yeah. But to me, man, I do believe it exists. Yeah. All right, Chillboy Swaggin. It's been a while since we've had a question from this legend. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the man who played Bilbo Baggins and my namesake, Sir Ian Holm, that passed this week. This actually was really sad news, man.
Yeah.
RIP to one of the best. Secondly, if Chewburger84 ever pulls a 7 red star, I promise I'll change my name to Chubo Swaggins for a month. I like it. All right, I'll get right on that. I haven't been trying for the last 2 years, but let me start.
Why don't you just pull a 7 red star, man? What are you waiting for?
I know. Well, now I have a reason.
That's like the people like, oh, well, why don't you just stop being poor? Just get some more money.
Oh, I didn't think about this.
Just get a 7 red star. What's the
thanks,
issue?
Mr. President. I'm going to get on this right away.
I mean, I've got 4 of them. I mean, just get one.
Exactly. Big Spartan 34. Do you think X-Force will be as versatile on war offense as Fantastic Four? I think more versatile, to be honest. Just because of bloody Torch, man.
Yeah, they're going to be so fast and remove buffs, and they can just wipe out a lot of different teams.
Yeah, I think if you get them powerful enough, there's only probably 2 or 3 teams this team won't beat. But I think, yeah, in the early days, I think they're going to be like mercenaries, mate. They're like, they have to be over a certain threshold, then they're terrifying. Yeah. Or, actually, no, mercenaries are pretty good at low level. Let's say more like Hydra, Red Skull, yeah.
Yeah.
Big Spartan, 34. Foxnex is really offering a free Taskmaster unlock to returning players. Do you think it's okay offering incentive that more loyal players had to pay for? Like I said earlier, Roy, I'm real torn on this. Because you want new players to theoretically not have a gap that's as oceanic as it is right now between us and them. But I want free stuff.
Yeah. Why don't you just like give them resources or something? So that could help them catch up, not, you know, character shards that people can only pay money for to get them.
But let's think about it, though, right? If they gave me 50 Taskmaster shards and they give Captain Midgame 50 Taskmaster shards. He gets an unlock. My account doesn't change.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not more powerful because I'm not going to get to 6 stars with that, but it gets me closer, so I'm still happy. So I just don't know why they just don't sort of say, hey, we're going to just give out this free stuff to everyone as we're coming back. Maybe give them a little bit more to say catching up, but it would have been great if we got at least a little something, especially if you are someone that did invest on them or buy on them for a relatively recent character too. I can kind of see Spartan's point.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Actually, Domino leapfrogged on top of Chilbo's comment saying that everyone has to change their name to Tubo Swaggin if I ever pull a 7 red star. I like it. All right. Let's have a look at the rest of our questions now. Thanks for that to our patrons. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'm loving the random questions coming out of Patreon chat, man. Like every week there's an absolute stunner, which allows us to go off. This week, the octopus for sure.
Yes. It wasn't quite the which character has the best butt, but
no, that went deep. Well, I mean, there was like penises for hands several weeks ago. I mean, we've had some great questions. I mean, and feel free to do that to the free to play guys as well. Like Roy and I like to have fun. We're dudes at the end of the day. Hit us up with random questions. Look, if it's offensive or whatever, sure, we'll drop it. But I mean, there's one guy that literally calls me fat every week. So I mean, we have a fair bit of tolerance for random questions. So.
yes.
Roy, I think you should take this one because it's one of your lads, BS Jack 87.
Yes. Says about to finish second run of DD3, which he did, and wondering who your short list would be to take to 7 reds. I'd say if you don't have Thanos at 7, he is an excellent choice. He just becomes ridiculous in the full Black Order team. I mean, just doing that basic twice just melts so many things. Personally, I'm going to probably take Cole to 7 with mine. Just because he works so well, and he's the second best character that needs reds to do what he does in the Black Order team. Another choice, I mean, Black Bolt is good. Good choice for it, but I mean, you don't super need it. Maybe since ISO-8 is coming, maybe even Sinister might be a choice since he's going to be so flexible on what he can do and who he clones and what you might be able to do with ISO-8.
Depending. So we really need to know what's going to happen to his clone, right? Once we know that, I think that'll answer whether he's the greatest option or not, yeah.
Yeah, so, or it could just be some new character that comes out in the next few months. It might be the best choice. So I'd say, I mean, if you want for the next 6 months, Thanos, but after that, or just hold on to them.
Yeah, that'd be my answer right now. Is just literally just sit on everything right now because there's going to be changes coming. I mean, I don't want to give anyone any ideas, but this has been one of the longest windows where we haven't had a level cap increase.
You just spoiled it, dude.
No, I know. I've ruined everyone's day. But, I mean, it has been. Like, because remember how quick it was from, like, 65 to 70 and then 70 to 75? We're all like, dude, I have, like, 5 characters at 70. Can you back off?
Like, coming soon, ISO-8. Also, a level cap increased at the same time.
Level 80.
Don't worry.
ISO-8 unlocks at 80.
Don't worry. We increased the amount that drops in gold ores by 10k, so you don't have to worry about that new level cap. You'll have enough gold.
All right. Matches Malone says, Seed Theory. He's pulled a 7 red star, Luke Cage. Roy, what's your usual starting point for Seed Theory? Is it spending gold, spending cores, claiming milestones?
Well, I mean, you can read my write-up on it that I did. I've linked that in the thing. But pretty much I always just go with I just open some orbs, see if I get multiple purple drops in a row, or if I hit a legendary drop on like a gold orb, or if I'm still opening milestone orbs on that. And then to try to change a seed, I always use my old claiming raid milestones. I've tried the spending gold, hasn't really worked out for me, so I just go with what I originally did when I came up with it in 2018. That's claiming the raid milestones, or just come back another time, a few hours later.
Mm-hmm. And he also says, also, how do both of you guys keep the character abilities straight and remember who does what and to who pair with others? I find if you have a weekly podcast where you spend 90 minutes talking about this every week, and then streaming multiple days per week and playing this game, You can't help it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I would love to make room in there for like really important stuff like porn stars' names, football player statistics, like all the classic stuff that we used to remember before games like this rotted parts of our brain.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like old hat to me. It's like no problem.
Yeah.
Keep up on this one, but I try to play any other game that's like really involved with a lot of characters. It's like man, I can't even do it. Let me just look for a guide. So I can understand how people are like that. Well, let me just find a guide and see what the best is because I don't want to figure it out myself.
Yeah. All right, Caveman. After the Thanos buff, he's talking about the passive buff, I climbed to the top of my arena shard to see it's all Black Order in arena defense. Does this make them now as advertised? And do you feel I'm assuming the word he's left out here is, do they defend more? Here's my thoughts on it. I think the changes that they made, depending on who you use against them, sometimes they're harder to beat, sometimes they're easier to beat. So Thanos is still going to miss his special on most teams when they're on defense. That's the bad news. But that ult is going to come around real fast. Yep. So I found that I'm getting beaten less, perception-wise. I don't know who's actually attacking me. I'm getting beaten less by the OG teams now. But I can say, without a shadow of a doubt, it is much easier for Black Order on Black Order crime. Right? Because what used to happen is that you'd get like RNG screwed if they had a massive Thanos and they managed to take your Corvus or your Proxima down below 50%.
Yeah.
Because then you'd immediately take a turn and then they'd counter your counter and then you're left with all the debuffs for an eternity.
Yeah.
Now, if you do get that bad RNG, doesn't matter. Because as soon as your next character goes down, which is normally more, because he's been flipped to have like 2 or 3 bleeds, instantly Thanos goes, you flip them another time, and then you win.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think it's much, 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 much easier to beat Black Order with Black Order now. I think the punch-ups, like one against the other now, would be really high.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, mate? Anything to add to that?
Yeah, I switched my Black Order team on defense finally, but now I'm dropping a little more, so I think I'm going to go back to my old one, see if it holds better. But I mean, yeah, everything just falls so easily to Black Order, it doesn't really matter at this point, unfortunately.
There you go, all right. Well, I've got everyone, as I said, full T4s. Everyone's at T14 except for Cole. I'm probably going to bring him up when I get the last couple bits of bio gear that I need. Because, Roy, classic form, you know the little missile-looking things for bio?
Yes.
None of those drop for me in DD3.
Ooh.
None.
So you got none on your
Nope.
finishing? Oh, man.
I got heaps of the other ones. So I got a lot of bio gear, but not that one piece. I'm like, dude. And almost nothing on the orange catalyst either. The orange-colored SBCs, whatever they are.
Yep, mine was the same way. I've been farming those every day.
I know, so that's not ideal, but that I probably am going to take him up. So I mean, my team's pretty big. I think that's why it scares a lot of people off for RNG runs. Like today, I did 1 arena hit for the whole day, and I finished 2nd.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was pretty happy with that. But then in saying that, the other day I finished at 19th. Now, I don't know whether that was legit I got knocked back, or whether I just was the victim of leapfrogging, because I was in 3rd last time I saw it.
Oh, yeah, you got slingshotted all the way down.
I wasn't logged on for like the last 20 minutes, so it could have gone either way, right?
Yep.
All right, Me-Tank. Have you had much experience with the Ultimus Kree team? How high does the scrub section of the team need to be before it actually works versus Asgardians? Korath is only 65, and his taunt can't reliably stick when the opponent has deflect. So I don't use that version of the team. I usually use the hybrid that is those guys and Ultron, and I normally use them against Hydra. And I was on a massive streak with that team until yesterday, where I don't know what the AI did. They just chose, hey, let's make sure that we hit all the essential characters and we just leave Ultron to the end. And yeah, all the speed mechanics that that team relies on, if Ultimus or Korath goes down, it's not going to work. Now, this lad has a 5 red star Ultimus in his photo, though. That's very different to my experience, because I'm still to finish my 2nd run. So I don't like that team versus Asgardians. I think they're a good counter to a lot of other teams, though.
Who do you have in for Ultron? Or who do you have Ultron
I
in
don't
for?
I don't use Vision in that team. Yeah, currently. Yeah. And then, most days as well, depending on if I'm doing it against Hydra, I don't even run Minerva either. I save her for an offensive Menardians. Yep. Sure, yeah. That's right, because you haven't got your 5 Red Star Ultimates yet either. I'm actually looking forward to playing around with him, hey?
Yeah, I've been slowly bringing him up, so I'll be ready by the time I get done.
Heck yes. All right, I'm going to quickly read this. Someone sent an example of a dev-splaining thing.
Pulling Ant-Man and Mega Orbs.
Quite. Yeah, so there's been like a new meme regarding Mega Orbs on all the Facebook group especially. It's probably been the big one where it's like everything is about Ant-Man is all they seem to pull in the Mega Orbs that we had over the last couple of weeks. Speaking of, did you open all your Mega Orbs that we got from that calendar?
I did. I got complete trash, as has been always the case with Mega Orbs. I've gotten like one good one. And then otherwise I see people pulling Sinister 100 shards multiple times from there. So I'm like, ugh.
Someone just got you. I got all trash, and then, because I saved all my ones from DD3 as well. So I got all trash and then one half-decent pull on Strife. Now, I don't like Strife as a character, but he's one of the few characters I don't have at 7 yellows yet. So that's good.
Yep, no coal whatsoever.
Absolutely. All right, Cousin Jack. Has anyone else noticed that you get a begging letter asking you to rate the game every time you pull a legendary drop from an orb? Example, every time I pulled 1 million from gold orbs, and then I pulled some Minerva shards from a premium. My son started playing recently. When he got one, he pulled a meal as well. Are they desperate for better ratings?
Yes.
Yeah. Because whenever you're about to introduce a new game mode, especially, and the thing is, it's working. I was actually only on the Google earlier, and I noticed that they lifted their Google rating from 3.9 to 4.3. To move that far in a month is crazy.
Yeah, it must have cost them a pretty penny to get all those fake reviews.
Yes. Hello, sir. I'm definitely a real person playing this game. All right, Crispy, I just pulled Punisher at 6 red stars, so I'm going to take him to DD3. Should I use any orange mats on him? Already have the passive at T5. I wouldn't, mate. Not just for DD3. He gonna die.
Yeah, his most biggest thing is buffing up Symbiote Spider-Man and anyone else, their damage. So, yeah, he's not going to live long at all, even at 6 reds.
Squallfire, one of our patrons. Hey, mate. He says, first time caller, long time listener. Pulling a 6 red star Hulk last night gave me inspiration on this question. I would actually really like to mess around with a 7 red star Hulk. Not going to lie.
Yep.
If Scopely went bankrupt and sold MSF, and you and the other fellow MSF content creators pulled your millions of dollars that you make to buy the game, what positions could you see yourself and the other content creators at? I'm going to put Casino as the head of HR. Oh, God. Good question.
We can put Valley at customer service because he's the happy friend.
He is, yeah. He's got that kind of vibe, right? Like he would keep the clients happy, or maybe even like senior sales guy. He's the kind of lad that you kind of send out to try and keep all your clients happy, right?
Yep. You're the monetization guy.
I actually think that Trevor would be the best at that. Trevor has a lot better understanding of marketing sponsorships. I think Mobile Gamer is the guy for that. I really do. I think Wolverthor would probably put on analytics. Him and Yeti combined. I'd love to have them as a team there.
Yeah.
What would we be? That's the real question.
Game design.
Yeah, I wouldn't be game design. I'd be what's that guy? Oh God, how can I not remember his name? Who was the guy that ran Apple? Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
I'd be the guy that's like, all right, guys, I've got this amazing idea. I'd pitch it, and then I go, now you guys figure it out.
Yes, that's game.
And then
design.
I'd go on, yeah. I'd be that douchebag. That'd be me for sure. I'm the ideas man. And when things go wrong, I guess I maybe community. Would I put myself as the sorry bro? Would I be the sorry bro?
Sorry.
Yeah, maybe I become the sorry bro. Maybe. Turd Ferguson. Gentlemen, I'm in desperate need of general DD3 advice. 37 days into Node 3. You guys have mentioned that just having Phoenix is enough to get started. Normally, Phoenix and at least one warm body, dude. You definitely need at least one, but even then, if it's not Colossus, you're going to struggle. What's the best way to keep her alive long enough to do something? I'm using her with Colossus, and I have Iron Fist, Ultron, Punisher, Jessica Jones, and Carnage as options. Why is that node so hard, Roy? What are we not thinking about?
Because everything's so fast and they double hit. I'd say go back and watch all my videos on it. You can kind of see how the timing and how to figure that out. How many characters you might need depending on what's hitting. Because you need the right number of characters, but if you have too many, they might chain or whatever, and then you basically have to shut them down from getting on a roll before you can get there. So it's weird how you have to figure out the timing between when she goes dark and then how many people you need to have there to take hits so she can get it off. Because she gets it pretty fast, so usually you only need like one or two, something like that.
Now, I don't know if you found this on some DD3 nodes, but I found that like certain nodes seem to be hard-coded to hit a particular position, not a character. And that when you change the positioning of your team, all of a sudden the RNG would finally change. So this might sound crazy, but like move the positioning of the team. And if you do have only a handful of characters, take let's say the 3 characters that you do have, right? Oh, he said he's got like 5 though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if he didn't, and this is a handy trick for City anyway, let's say you only had 3 symbiotes. Save like symbiotes plus 2 random characters you don't have at T14, and do symbiote, rando, symbiote, rando, symbiote. That way when you load the team in, they'll load on the map with no one next to each other, so you won't gain splash damage. Yeah. Sometimes that can be really the difference maker between you getting through a node with a minimal team and not.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm going to be on that note in a couple of days, so I guess I could probably pass on a bit of feedback, because to be honest, man, I've forgotten. Like, what was that, a month ago, at least?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me have a look.
I got through it pretty fast my second run through, but I had, 4 teams to throw at it, so...
Yeah, I haven't got up to it yet. As I said, I keep missing. In fact, I haven't done today's either. What have I got? An hour. All right, that's what I'm doing when we hang up the phone in this podcast.
And I did it back when it's originally unnerfed version. It was even more horrible, so it can be
Are you pulling the hipster here?
What's up?
As in, I did it before it was cool?
Yes, I did it back with the hardest version of it. Not to brag.
You got remunerated for that, though. You guys got like 2,800 cores or something. Or the energy equivalent, right?
We got back what we spent on cores.
Yeah. So that helped later on. All right, Cottonmouth. The question does beg asking is okay, so he's done the maths. So to take a character from 4 to 6 red stars is $430 US. So there it is, Roy. To take a character just from 4 to 7 is 1,030.
No,
that's
4 to
USD.
6.
Oh God, that's bad. So I was right. It's going to be over $1,500 Australian. Forget it. My first car wasn't even that much.
Yep.
I mean, it was a piece of junk. So the question is it worthwhile taking a character from 4 to 6 for that money, or are you better off buying the Red Star bundle gambles?
Better off doing neither.
Yeah, Red Stars are just terrible value everywhere, I think.
Yep.
All right, Paul D, did I miss something? When did they basically kill any chance of getting shards for a tune for non-botters? Okay, so what this is, he's posted a photo of the Ironheart Blitz. So this is a common thing that characters, if they're not requiring 100 shards to unlock, their second iteration of their Blitz, they will only have up to the top 2% that get shards. Everyone else gets a random small piece of a Mega Orb for reasons.
And they actually improved that. It used to be only top 2,000 got stuff for a while.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man, I forgot all about that. Yeah, that's actually way better now.
It was even more horrible in the past. So.
Forget that. I wonder what it works out to now for top 2%. Like what position? I should have a look one day.
Yeah.
All right, last question for the week, lads. BDH1010. I'm a huge fan of Captain America and Black Widow. Wondering what team I should put them on. I know they're not meta, but I still want to use those characters. Add in a Captain Marvel and then +2, really.
Yeah, like I have a funky blitz team I use them in. I use them with Coulson, Crystal, and who's the other one? But I mean, it works out because you do like the Coulson ult, and then Captain America can throw his shield, and then you can come in. The timing works out, like everything like hits, so it wipes a lot of stuff out. And Quake, so yeah, we got all the shield synergies in there, and Inhumans, so that's a pretty decent blitz team. Wins on all.
Yeah, sounds nice, man. All right, any last thoughts before we wrap up for the week, mate?
No, sir.
All right, boys and girls, that is the end of the Strikeforce Master Launch podcast for another week. Thank you for listening. Make sure you share it with your friends when the next episode drops and your alliance mates. If you want to show a little bit more love to the show, you can always stop by our Patreon site, patreon.com/SFMOL. We really appreciate those of you that can support us there. And for everyone else, of course, if you've got 2 seconds up your sleeve, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. If it is a 5-star review, we will read it out next week. Make sure you check out my videos that we put out over at Alternate Reality on YouTube, and you can follow me at Chewburger84 on Twitch, Twitter, all the socials by the same tag. Otherwise, Roy, take us on out of here.
So I'm Big Roy Awesome on YouTube. Check me out on there. That's going to do it. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay tuned and stay awesome.